Thank you for watching this informational video regarding an income-restricted rental opportunity located at 14 Ward Street in Somerville, available through the City of Somerville Inclusionary Housing Program. My name is Andres Bueno, and I am a program specialist for the city's Inclusionary Housing Program. This newly constructed property is developed by 14 Ward Street LLC and consists of 24 apartments ranging from 1 to 3 bedrooms. The property has a heated on-site garage with 24 spaces and bicycle parking as well. Other amenities include stainless steel appliances, central AC, and in-unit washer dryers. The next 4 slides contain basic information on each of the 4 affordable units, such as bedroom size, floor plans, rents, square footage, and income restrictions. When renting an affordable apartment, the household must first be determined eligible by the Housing Division through an income certification. Approved households will receive a proceed letter instructing them to complete rental applications and credit screenings. For this opportunity, there is a credit screening requirement of $575. Households should not provide notice to a current landlord until a lease is offered with an agreed-upon start date. Households with Section 8 vouchers or other similar vouchers may apply them at this property. Rents are capped at the inclusionary rent rate. The Housing Division Compliance and Monitoring Team will conduct annual monitoring to ensure continued eligibility. Tenants of affordable apartments must demonstrate the apartment is being used as the primary and principal residence. Households must also complete annual income recertifications to ensure continued income eligibility and to ensure the correct rent is being charged. Rents are based on high and low home rents, which are updated on an annual basis. Low home rents are applied to apartments restricted to households with incomes at or below 50% of the area median income, or AMI. High home rents are applied to apartments restricted to households with incomes at or below 80% AMI. Households at or below 50% AMI may increase income up to 140% of 50% AMI and still be charged low home rents. Once income exceeds 140% of 50% AMI, the household will be charged high home rents. Similarly, households at or below 80% AMI may increase income up to 140% of 80% AMI while still being charged high home rents. Once income exceeds 140% of 80% AMI, households will be charged market rate rent, or they must vacate the apartment. There are several eligibility requirements to be aware of. Household income must not exceed 50% AMI or 80% AMI, depending on the apartment. For 50% AMI units, households must meet minimum income requirements that are established to ensure that households can afford housing costs. Minimum income requirements are waived for households with rental vouchers, and they will be included in lottery pools for both 50% and 80% AMI units. Assets cannot exceed $250,000, excluding restricted retirement, college, and health savings plans. No household member may own property or joint interest in property. This must be sold prior to the completion of an income certification, and the proceeds will be counted toward the asset limit. All heads of households cannot be full-time students. This includes PhDs. Student status is defined by the learning institution and must be verified at the time of the income certification directly by the learning institution. Lastly, or almost lastly, there are no households of convenience. Unrelated household members must have a documented history of mutual residency with all other household members leading up to July 1st. Verification will be required at the time of an income certification. Also, applicants cannot submit multiple applications belonging to different households. Lastly, there is household size requirements, and the household size must match or exceed the number of bedrooms in an apartment. A household includes everyone who intends to reside in the apartment during the first year. This includes related or unrelated and unmarried persons with a history of living together, children under 18, persons without income, full-time students who are over 18, unborn children if in the third trimester by the time of the lottery, children who reside with the applicant at least 50% of the year, and absent household members. In the pre-lottery application, households must indicate whether or not they qualify for a Somerville Preference, that is, a household member who works 32 hours or more per week in Somerville, or if a household member lives in Somerville. Verification will be required at the time of income certification, and the verification must be dated within 30 days of the application deadline. Similarly, applicants must indicate in the pre-lottery application whether or not they receive a rental mobile voucher, such as Section 8. Verification of the voucher will be requested at the time of the income certification. Households in the pre-lottery application must also indicate meeting income requirements. Households applying for 50% AMI units must indicate also that they meet minimum income requirements. Minimum income requirements are waived for households with rental vouchers. This slide includes a table of income requirements and minimum income requirements for 50% AMI units, depending if it's a one-bedroom or a two-bedroom. Income is defined as all amounts, monetary or not, that go to or are received by or on behalf of any household members. Income includes any amounts anticipated within the next 12 months, as well as interest accrued off assets to which any household member has access to. It is the household's responsibility to accurately divulge all income and anticipated changes in household income. Examples of income include but are not limited to wages from a job, self-employment, unemployment earnings, Social Security and disability benefits, child support even if in arrears, compensation from one-time gigs and events, assistance from family or friends, earnings from yard sales, art sales, and fundraising campaigns such as GoFundMe, crowdsource, again, as well as any dividends and interest off assets. Assets include saving and checkings accounts, CDs, mutual funds, investment accounts, IRAs, 401ks, other retirement accounts, bonds, digital or cryptocurrency such as Bitcoin, cash apps such as Venmo, PayPal, business accounts, cash on hand, any account that holds a balance regardless if the balance is $0 in the US or abroad, as well as all joint accounts that list a household member's name. Applicants are recommended to consider the following questions to ensure that income is accurately reported in the pre-lottery application. Will a household member gain or lose employment or income source in the next 12 months? Are there expected changes in work hours? Is overtime being considered? Is there a history of raises, bonuses, commissions, or cost of living adjustments in the last 3 years? Are they expected in the next 12 months? If not, why not? What changed? Is any income seasonal, such as academic or landscaping? Is there alternative income during the off-season? Is there a busy season? Also, applicants should consider their pay frequency, whether it's weekly, bi-weekly, bi-monthly, monthly, bi-weekly meaning every 2 weeks, bi-monthly meaning twice a month. Lastly, applicants should anticipate, especially those who are self-employed, anticipate whether they will be gaining or losing clients, contracts, or other income sources. Applicants can also take the following steps to ensure that income is being reported as accurately as possible in the pre-lottery application. This includes checking in with HR, an office manager, or union rep about changes in employment such as hours or raises, reviewing bank statements for deposits and transfers made in all assets, identifying the source, reason, and frequency of these deposits. Applicants may also review taxes to ensure what's reported in the taxes is the same as what's being reported in the pre-lottery application. If there are any discrepancies, these must be addressed. Applicants should also consider ending any pending income sources and anticipated changes to income in the next 12 months. Lastly, households should calculate their total monthly and annual gross income. There are two co-equal Somerville preferences for this lottery. There is a work preference for households that work at least 32 hours or more within the city of Somerville. There is a live preference for households that live full-time in Somerville. Preference must be indicated within the pre-lottery application, and verification of a preference will be required at the time of an income certification. The preference verification must be dated within 30 days of the application deadline. Insufficient verification will result in the household being placed at the bottom of all lottery waitlists. Verification of Somerville residency must include a household member's name and the Somerville address. Acceptable forms of verification may include a utility bill, cell phone bill, credit card or bank statement, voter registration letter, or a current lease. Verification of employment in Somerville must include a household member's name, the employment address in Somerville, and the number of hours worked per week. Acceptable forms of verification include a pay stub, going by the period end date and not the check-in date, or a letter from the employer. This letter must be on company letterhead and be signed and dated by the employer. Applicants in co-working spaces are not eligible for a Somerville work preference. If an applicant who typically works in Somerville but is not currently working in Somerville or working remotely because of COVID-19, this must be verified by the employer, and the other requirements still apply, that the employer still needs to verify that under normal work circumstances, they are working at a specific Somerville address 32 hours or more per week. This slide includes a sample employment verification letter. A complete application means all adults signed the application, all questions are answered, there is an indication of whether or not a household qualifies for Somerville preference, and there is indication that the household receives a rental voucher. Applicants failing to disclose accurate income and asset information may be denied for providing false information. They may also be found ineligible because a household does not meet income requirements. Furthermore, a household may just lose an affordable housing opportunity. The deadline to submit a complete application is 2 p.m. Tuesday, August 3rd, 2021. Due to COVID-19, please plan to email or fax in your application. Applications can be emailed to inclusionary@somervillema.gov or fax to 617-591-3235. If you are mailing in your application, the application must be received by the application deadline, not postmarks. Mailed applications can be sent to the Housing Division, brought to the attention of the Inclusionary Housing Program, located at 50 Evergreen Ave in Somerville, Massachusetts, 02145. Please view this table for important dates and events. Households selected number 1 in the lottery will have 5 business days after the lottery to initiate the income certification by submitting income and asset and tax documentation. Documentation includes 2020 federal tax returns for all adults, including W-2s, 1099s, and all other pages and schedules. The most recent 3 complete consecutive months of pay stubs or other income statements for May, June, and July 2021. An employment verification form that will be signed by the employee with the employer's contact information. This will be given to households at the time of an income certification. Households will also be required to submit the most recent 3 complete and consecutive months of all complete asset statements for all household accounts for May, June, and July 2021. For households with no income or no assets, they will need to verify so in a notarized and signed affidavit. Other documentation that will be required include verification of student status, divorce or separation agreements, verification of custody of a minor, as well as preference and voucher verification. For any additional questions, please reach out to us by dropping in during our office hours, emailing us at inclusionary@somervillema.gov, or calling us at 617-625-6600, extension 2566. Please keep in mind that staff are working remotely and cannot respond to calls in real time, but we will call you back as soon as we can. Please direct property-specific questions to info@blockproperties.com or by calling 617-398-0747. Property-specific questions include but are not limited to building and pet policies, questions regarding energy efficiency and utilities, and construction materials. Thank you.